everyone, and how are you guys today? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today and everything is going great and you're all ready for the holiday. You got all your shopping done, everything is finished. So now it's time for you to grab yourself a little cup of coffee, a little glass of wine, a little something so you can chill out with me as we go over our list of our top favorite foundations this year and even go over some holy grails as well. So if you're interested in that, then stick around and let's do it together. Okay guys, so we are ready to dive into this fabulous journey of foundation. This year has been impeccable with foundations this year. Every one of them, not any of these are bad foundations. I don't think there was maybe one or two at the most that was even maybe not that great this year that didn't work for me. I think the only one I can really off the top of my head is with the Hourglass that did not work for me, the ambient foundation. I didn't really care for that one. I didn't even review that one. But there's a lot of really great foundations here. But just to throw this out there, just want to let you guys know that when I do these foundations, I do these by how long they wear, how they look on a very dry skin because I'm dry. I'm also 51. I like to have a glow on my skin. I like my skin to look fresh. I like it to look very healthy. But then, yeah, I like, to me, when you get compliments on your skin and people are like, oh my God, your skin is so pretty, that is telling me that the foundation is doing its job, but it's not overdoing it to where it takes away from your skincare or it takes away from your actual skin. I go by like coverage. I go by, mainly it's more of the long wear because I don't know how you guys are, but my days last anywhere from 12 to sometimes 14, 15 hours. And I need something that's going to stay on me and that's going to last. And that's even with setting spray and everything. I mean, because sometimes you got to help a little bit of foundation out, but we've got a great array of foundations here to go with. But first of all, before we go over starting into our foundations that we do love and care for, I do want to let you know that I did do a mid-year review video that is up. So if you want to check that out, I will try to post it up here. If you want to go see what my mid-year review was on everything, what my favorite top ones were at that moment, and I think it was in July. But we are going to go into Holy Grails first. And the first one I'm going to start with is a discontinued one, and she is no longer with us. Unfortunately, she's been discontinued, but this is the Dior Air Flash. I won't talk a lot about it because you guys can't pick it up anymore, but it is a wonderful foundation and it does an amazing job. Another one of my holy grails is the Lemire foundation, and this is in the soft fluid. Forgot to shake it up. But this is the soft fluid long wear foundation. So beautiful. It's this beautiful matte thin foundation, but it's got like a luminosity underneath it. It makes your skin look so impeccable. So anytime I wear this, it looks great. It reminds me a little bit of the Air Flash. So this is like a holy grail. They're very kind of similar for some reason. It's a little bit of a very airbrush look. So this is beautiful. It's worth the price point. Another one was one that I just talked about in my 2021 top favorites that I just did recently, and this is the Tom Ford Stick. It's beautiful, especially if you have a normal to dry skin. It's impeccable. It stays on all day. It's long wearing. It's gorgeous. It leaves a beautiful radiance on the skin, and it covers very well. The next one is the Huda Beauty. Again, I forgot to shake it again. This is the Fox Filter. This is the luminous one. I did have the one previously before that, and I did love it too. And why is even though with the luminous matte, I just, for some reason, it works really well with my skin. I don't know. It just works really well for me. I guess it's just the way I prime my skin or something. I don't know, but it's just a really amazing foundation. And then we have the Huda Beauty Stick. This is another concealer. This is a really great, it's a little bit, this is more pricey because she's like $80 some. This is a great foundation, especially if you're normal to dry. It leaves a beautiful glow on the skin. It covers very well, gets a beautiful medium coverage. And you get about a good 8-9 hour wear out of this foundation stick, but I love it. Every time I wear it, I always get a lot of compliments. So it's another holy grail. And then, of course, my last but not least is this is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. If you want something to stay on 24 hours, but you don't want to spend a fortune on maybe some of these other ones, this is a holy grail product for me. I've been using this for years. I absolutely love the coverage. I love the way that it feels. I love the way that it looks. It makes your skin look amazing. I just wore this the other day and people were asking me, what do you have on? Your skin looks absolutely beautiful. It looks so pretty. I mean, what do you use? What kind of skincare are you using? I would get those kind of questions. And when I get those, then I know that the foundation is doing a really good job, but without, you know, suffocating my skin with it. But this is a great, stays on all day, will not come off with setting spray or without. It's really amazing. And you don't have to spend a fortune on it either. And one more holy grail that I forgot to throw out there. I'm so sorry. I wanted to throw it in. I totally forgot about it. I have it on now. And this is the Lisa Eldridge foundation. This is what I have on my skin right now at this moment. Absolutely stunning foundation. It's like every single time I wear this, it just turns out the skin is just so succulent and so beautiful. But now I do a lot to it. I have to manipulate this one because she's a little bit more of like a semi-matte finish, but it is just really beautiful if you really work with it, or if you like, I added a little oil with this and it just does perfectly for me, and I use it with a beauty blender and a little bit of it goes a long way. This one stays on beautifully all day long. It gives a beautiful coverage. You can get a good medium buildable coverage out of it. It makes your skin look flawless. If you've not tried this foundation out or have gotten a sample of it, I would definitely recommend it. So we're gonna start with a little bit of our tints first, and then we're gonna kind of go backwards. But I just wanted to give a shout out to the One Size Beauty. This one was a really good one. It's a blurring tint, and then also the Rare Beauty. This one was also a really good one. This is the Positive Light Tinted Moisturizer. This one is really good, especially in the summer. I really enjoyed this. I didn't think I was gonna like it because it does have like a little bit more of a matte blurring type finish to it. But for some reason, it made it look really pretty and glowy on my skin. I don't know why, but I just really enjoyed this. It's really great with your fingertips, just as this one is. This one's just a little bit more dewy. It has a little bit more radiance. They both last about, this one lasts a little bit longer than this one. This one's about a good 6 hours. This is maybe about a good 7. But if you're looking for a really good moisturizer, if you're more oily combination, or if you're dry but you want something a little bit more blurring, or you like a little bit more of a slight matte finish, you would like this one. But if you're very dry and you're normal dry, or very dry or normal, you would really enjoy this one too. It just doesn't give a lot of coverage. This one gives a little bit more, but this one gives just a little minimal. It's just a really great everyday, just kind of something to put on, but it is a really, really good tinted moisturizer. Okay, next up in tinted moisturizers is the Chantecaille's tinted moisturizer. Guys, this color, listen at me. This tinted moisturizer is so beautiful. It's so plumping. I put this on customers and stuff, and their skin just looks so succulent and so beautiful. It's just very, very lightweight. It's just a really beautiful tinted moisturizer. I can't say enough about it. If you're looking for something that's very natural, but it does have a beautiful glow to it, this is another one that would be great. If I was choosing between this one and the Rare Beauty, I like them both really. The Rare Beauty to me lasts a little bit longer than this one. It's not a very long wearing one though. This one's maybe 4 or 5 hours. So if you're not going to be doing a lot, this is a great everyday one because it feels just like skincare, just like the Rare Beauty does. And the Rare Beauty, they're both, you know, cruelty free, great. They're both, this one, I don't think it does have any fragrance. I don't think it does. No, it doesn't really have much of a fragrance to it or anything, and neither does a Rare Beauty, but they're both great tints. We're kind of going in and out of the tints. The Age Perfect is another really good one. I picked this one up actually last December. It's a 4-in-1 balm, and it's actually like water-based. So when you put it on, it feels just like water when you put it on the skin, and it mimics the skin really beautifully. And it actually is oil-free, but it leaves a really beautiful glow. It's supposed to kind of be like everything in one, like a primer, a foundation, a blurring, everything all in one. I don't know when necessarily say it's blurring, but it is a really beautiful foundation if you want something that's just a tint that kind of gives this really balmy, beautiful glow to the skin. And this is beautiful on dry skin, or for someone that's a little bit more mature, or somebody that just wants a little bit of something just to even them out, to make them look really fresh. This is a really good one to do that with. Another one that I really love is from Chanel, and Chanel is in here. She's in here about 1 or 2 more times, but this is the Le Beige. This is the Le Beige Complexion Touch. This is the one that came out this year. I also have the Water Tint, which I actually loved last year, and I actually, to be honest with you, I still love the Water Tint more than this one. This one gives a little bit more coverage. They're very, very similar. The only difference is the coverage. This one just gives more coverage and it has more colors. The tint does not have as many. The water tint doesn't have as many, but I just really love it in the summer. It's so beautiful. And with a little bit of that Chanel Glow Powder or sheer powder over it, it is just absolutely stunning. This one is really beautiful. The only difference between the two is the coverage and the colors. That's it. So if you just want to, if you like the water tint, but you want a little bit more coverage, this one's a good one. I don't pull this one out as much as I do the water tint. Like I said, I still enjoy that one more. I don't know why. It's just something that I enjoy more, but I do like this one. It is really good. I mean, was it really worth the 60, 70 bucks? I mean, no, I would go back to the water tint first. I wouldn't repurchase this one again just for that reason, because I just like it better. But I mean, but it is a good one. And if you are looking for something and you're more of a high end and you want to try something in Chanel, this is a really good one to pick up. I mean, I think it has like a little bit of a scent. I don't think it's like too much. It has like very little, which in Chanel, usually you have quite a bit sometimes, but it is a really beautiful product. I did get this one in the shade, this is B60, so this is a little bit more my summer shade. Right now, I'm not as dark as I was. I'm more like about a B40 or a B50 right now, but it's really beautiful in the summer, and it is really nice. Okay, we have rolled up the sleeve because now we're getting down and dirty. We're getting into the actual foundation now. So starting off was like something that I picked up in February that I absolutely fell in love with. And I haven't used it in a hot minute, but I need to do it again. But it is the Natasha Denona Face Glow Foundation. And this is the Natasha Denona Transfer Matte. This one works really good by itself, and I got this one in the shade 45. I know that she was very lacking in these shades. Some of these shades are a little lacking on, definitely on Sephora, they're gone. But on her site, they're still like available, but I don't know what shades are available and what are not. But these foundations are really good. This one is a really good one for oily skin. I really like it. I've heard a lot of people that don't like her foundation, but I really enjoy both of these. This one's more of like it's not a tint, but it's got a little bit more of that sheerness to it. It's not a full coverage, but it's like a light medium. This one's definitely more of a fuller coverage, but it is just such a good product. What I do with them is I mix them together, and they are amazing together. They look so good together. It stays on all day. Your skin looks flawless all day. They're both really good foundations, but mixed together, guys, they are really awesome. And you're going to hear probably about maybe 2 or 3 in here that I mix together that, you know, that's what creates the perfect foundation for me. But sometimes I just don't get what I want out of the one, but just sometimes I get more out of the 2. But if you don't want to mix 2 together, this is definitely great for normal to dry skin. If you're a little bit more, you want something with a light medium coverage, it's great to look at. The colors are just a little inky. And then this one, I don't know about the colors now, but this is a really good one if you have a little bit more normal to oily skin or combination skin. It is a really nice one to pick up if you just want a medium coverage, but together they're an amazing duo. So next up, I want to talk a little bit about this Shiseido. This is the Future Solution Total Radiance Foundation. I just picked this up in November. So I haven't really got to really wear a whole lot, but I have wore a few times. It is like a cream, but it's like a cream gel. So it is a really beautiful foundation. It's a very medium coverage. It reminds me a lot of the Clé de Peau, I think it's called the Radiant Foundation. It's in the jar. It reminds me a lot of it. This one's just a little bit less expensive than that one. That one's like about $250, $260. This one's around the I think it's around the 90 area, so it's still not cheap, but it's a lot cheaper than that one. But the technology and everything kind of reminds me of that. I have to manipulate this one a little bit too, guys. I actually have to mix this one with a little bit of oil. It looks like it would have like a lot of moisture to it, but to me it doesn't. To me, it still kind of goes on a little bit more flatter, like more natural, with a little bit more of a slight matte look to it, believe it or not. But it is beautiful. It does give a beautiful coverage. It does stay on pretty good most of the days. If you spray it, it does a pretty good job. But it is a really beautiful foundation. It's really hard for me with Shiseido. I've really had a really rough time trying to find something since the Glow Sync was discontinued. And that was my favorite in Shiseido, and they don't make it anymore. I don't like the Radiant Lifting. I don't like that one. I didn't like the Synchro Skin. I did not like that one. The powder, I don't like the powder. I've tried that. And then now I've tried this. So the 2 that I loved in Shiseido, the Glow Sync and the stick foundation that they had, I absolutely loved. So maybe one of these days they will come out with something that I do enjoy. I've also tried the tinted moisturizer and I did not like that either. So for some reason, I love the Shiseido skincare, which is what I've been using a lot lately. But for some reason, I'm not super crazy about their foundation, but of all of them, I like this one the most. Okay, so going down the pipeline. So let's talk about this Chantecaille foundation right quick. I've got like stuff all over it. I'm so sorry. It's like I didn't wipe them down very well. But this is the Chantecaille Future Skin Foundation. If you want a really beautiful gel-like consistency foundation that melts into the skin that looks just like your skin and it leaves a beautiful, healthy radiance, but not too greasy glow, but oil-free, this is a really good one. It looks really, like when you look at it, you think it's going to be very disgusting. You're like, oh, it's going to be so greasy and so heavy or whatever, but it doesn't. It just looks just like your skin when you put it on and it melts beautifully into the skin. I've used this many times on clients and they just absolutely love it. It's a great foundation all year round, in the winter, in the spring, in the summer, and in the fall. It's just absolutely really beautiful. You can manipulate it either way with a brush, or you can also manipulate it with a sponge. It stays on pretty good. I wouldn't say that it's an all-day wear because it is more of a natural type of foundation. I would say maybe close to maybe 5-6 hours is about what you get out of it. If you spray it and you set it with a little bit of powder, you'll get a little bit more wear out of it. It's a little bit more like the just tinted moisturizer because Chantecaille foundations are just made to be more natural and very light and not super heavy. So it's not like a full coverage type deal or what have you, but it is a really good one. And if you are looking for something that's cruelty free and it's natural and it's a very lightweight and you're looking for something, this would be a really good one to pick up. So moving down the pipeline, we have two that I picked up in, I think it was in October or September. I'm not really sure. But this is the Guerlain Puree Gold, and this is the Guerlain Puree Gold Matte. Now, I got the Guerlain L'Or, and I think I picked it up in, I think it was like in April maybe or something. Rissa does makeup. I watched her and she absolutely fell in love with it. And I had tried that one previously years ago. It had been a hot minute since I tried it. So I picked it up and I was able to find a shade, but now that one is gone. It is discontinued. It is very hard to find any kind of shades in it whatsoever. If you do, I think Neiman's, you might be able to find like there's maybe 4 or 5, but there's not very many left if you can. So to me, this is exactly like that one. I think they just reformulated it, repackaged it, and it's very similar to the L'Or. It's got a dewy, radiant finish to it. It's really beautiful on the skin. It feels really nice. It gives a beautiful medium coverage. I had to get both of these from overseas, though. They are not available in the US yet. They are still available only overseas, so I got it from Selfridges. But this one is very limited in colors, so I have the actual darkest color that they have. The matte range is a little bit more in colors. You have a little bit more choices, and I do like them both. This one's just more radiant. This one gives more of like a soft semi-matte to it, and it is really beautiful too, and it does wear well all day. It does, I would say probably around, it says 24 hours, but I wouldn't say 24 hours. I would say maybe 15, 16. And that is if you spray it and you set it with powder. But it is a really beautiful foundation. It is great. And when you mix the two of them together, they are a really beautiful combination because you're getting like a satin finish with it because this one's dewy, this one's matte. You mix them together. They work great together too. They're great for both if you have dry skin, if you have normal skin, if you have mature skin, you would love both of them. If you want just a little bit more of a slight matte to it, because this one doesn't go to a full flat out matte. It's still got like a little bit of a luminosity to it underneath. And this one's just a full out radiant. So this one's definitely more moisturizing and it feels more hydrating and it definitely has more glow. But they're both really beautiful foundations and I've definitely enjoyed using them. I've just kind of stepped them back a little bit because I've got some other ones that I'm going to talk about in just a minute that I've been playing with a little bit more that I really enjoy. But these have both been really beautiful ones and I'm glad to have them in my collection. And even though I still have the L'Or, I just, eventually I'll still use it. I know that this is kind of taking its place. Now, whether this will come to America or not, I do not know. Maybe in the future, in the spring, that Guerlain is redoing a lot of their line, like Dior and Givenchy, who are also owned by LVMH. they're all going under a little bit of a transformation with, you know, going all natural. So we will see what happens with this in the US, and maybe their color ranges may be a little bit more broadened, and they may do some extra little things to it once it hits the US, if it comes. I have just a few more to go down the road with. So I'm sorry if my chair is squeaky. I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's just that squeaky. So let's talk a little bit about the number one, the Chanel by Chanel. This came out in January of last year. And let's talk about the beautiful skin. They both came out around the same time frame. And I love both of them. They're both beautiful. The Chanel is a little bit more along the lines of the Chantecaille, the Future Skin, the Tinted, you know, a lot of those, a little bit like the Guerlain. It's a little bit like that one, the Radiance one. It has a beautiful glow to it, but it gives a really beautiful light medium coverage to it. It does have a little bit of a floral scent, you know, but it does wear well. And then when it does wear away, it actually looks really beautiful. It doesn't look like your skin doesn't look all wonky or anything like that. It looks really, really beautiful. Not too heavy, kind of airy. That's something that's going to last maybe a good 6-7 hours on the skin. This would be a really beautiful one to pick up. Out of the Chanel ones, I would have to say I love the Healthy Le Beige, and I also love my Sauvage and the Luxe Stray. That's also another one that I love. I would have to say this one is almost beside the Luxe Stray, because just the way that I love it. I love it even more than the Le Beige, but because it's just so beautiful and it makes your skin look impeccable. So I would definitely choose this one if you weren't going to go with the Sublimage brand. And then speaking of beautiful skin, let's talk about Charlotte Tilbury. Now, a lot of this people have had hit misses with Charlotte Tilbury. Some people have either loved it or they've hated it, one or the other. You know, I really love it. Every time I wear it, I get compliments on it. My skin looks really juicy. It looks really healthy. I just know that when I use it, I've got to really juice up my skin a lot more underneath and prime it with a good hydrating primer, glow, all that good stuff before I use it. But it does a really beautiful job. I never use it with a brush. I always use it with a sponge because I just don't like the coverage with the brush. I prefer it with a sponge instead. But it lasts most of the day with me. I would say probably about a good, maybe, I would say about a good 10 hours, about 9-10 hours, maybe 8. I know some people just have problems with it, but I have it. It just works really great for me. I normally, most makeups with a lot of hyaluronic acid in it don't work well for me, but this one does, and it works very well. And I still enjoy using it. I have this in the shade 7N. I wish I'd have got one a little bit different, but the shades are a little wonky, so I just kind of mix in a little bit of a pigment with it to kind of manipulate it the way that I need to. But it is a really beautiful foundation. For me, it is. I would definitely, if you wanted to try it, I would get a sample first to try it, especially if you're drier, because I've heard that people that are oily don't like it, and then people that are too dry don't like it, and then people that are normal, some of them don't like it. And then I've heard some people that absolutely love it. So I don't know. It's just one of those, it's got a lot of mixed results with it. So you definitely would have to check it out for yourself, but I would definitely get a sample of it if you wanted to try it. Okay, so we have a few more. So we're moving along. So we're just keep going. We're right along. So next up, let's talk about this YSL All Hours reformulation that they did of this foundation. So I really like this foundation. It is a really beautiful foundation. It's a beautiful luminous matte, because now they made it more luminous. Before it was more matte. It does still leave a matte coverage. It does give a little bit of a glow. I've seen a lot of customers that are oilier that do wear it. They preferred the older one because it was more matte. This one does have a luminosity, and the luminosity does come out throughout the day. So then therefore your skin gets a little bit more oilier looking. But now if you're about a good normal combination, maybe I would say normal to dry, and you like a little bit of it like that satin matte type look, like kind of like the Huda Beauty, the Fox filter, I think you would really like this one. It's really good. It does stay on all day. It does last a good 16 hours or more, especially if you spray it and you set it with powder and everything. It works really beautiful. It does make your skin look impeccable. It's an all in all. It's a really good foundation. I did pick mine at Versace though, and mine has an SPF 30 in it. The one here in the US, I want to say it is, I think it's like a good, I think it's like a 25 or 28 or something. Maybe it's a 30. I can't remember. Mine is a 39. The one here in the US is a 30. That's what it is. I couldn't remember what it is. It's a 39. So it's a little bit more higher SPF, the one that I have, because I got it from Selfridges. I got it before it launched here in the US, and literally after the day I reviewed it, it came out like 2 or 3 days later, right after on Sephora. So, but you can pick this up in Sephora. You can also pick this up on the YSL site, but it is a really good foundation, and it does last long. So my next one is that I've really fell in love with, that I didn't think I was going to like at all, or didn't think that I was going to be impressed with it whatsoever, and that is the Wayne Goss. This is the Luxury Cream Foundation. This is just a beautiful foundation for normal to dry skin. I would say maybe light combination. I would not say anybody that is oily, and I would not say that anybody that's like too heavy combination, but as somebody that's very, very dry, you would love this. And somebody that's normal to dry, you would love this. Anybody that's more along the oilier category, I don't know. It is not a full coverage. I know that he says that it's a full coverage, or you can get a full coverage, or maybe I think if it was like a heavier medium coverage out of it. It just builds really beautifully into the skin, so I don't really see the coverage part. I see it more as like a light medium skin or a coverage type, but I use it with a sponge, and I use it and it just goes on really beautifully. It's just an absolutely beautiful dream on the skin. It just goes right into the skin. It melts. It's just a beautiful cream foundation. So this is definitely one that if you love cream, or you like things that are a little bit more hydrating, you might consider picking this up, especially if you're more mature and you have more of a normal to dry skin and you like that. I will say that it does stay on really good, especially if you spray it, and when it does and spray it and kind of set it with just a little bit of powder, it does stay on really good. It lasts throughout even if you sweat or whatever, it does stay on really well. And when it does start to go away, it goes away naturally, and it doesn't leave any marks on your skin. It just wears away beautifully. And then with that said, we're going to go into our next one, and that is the Patrick Ta Foundation. And this is the one, and now again, just like some of the other ones, just like the Yves Saint Laurent, just like the Beautiful Skin, a lot of those are kind of mixed bags. So a lot of people, there's some people that do not like it and absolutely hate it, and they just didn't enjoy that. The same thing with this foundation. And when on the Sephora site, it actually said that it was for combination of oily skin. So I didn't think I was going to like this foundation. So I bought it on a whim thinking that maybe I might like it, but I wasn't really sure. But this foundation is absolutely a dream. Again, it is a very beautiful, light, medium, on-the-go type skin makeup type product. You don't need a lot of it. A little bit of it goes a long way. It spreads out very well. It blends into the skin very seamless. It has a powder built in with it too. The powder does a really beautiful job of just kind of setting it lightly, especially if you're very dry. This is a great one for dry skin. So why they were saying combination oily, I don't know, but it goes great for dry skin. I wouldn't even recommend it for a combination of oily skin. I mean, it is just a really good foundation for somebody that just wants something that's very natural and just kind of on the go, and not you just want something to look, you want to look pretty, but you don't want to be too overdone. It is a good foundation to wear. It doesn't have a long wear claim on it. I would say you could get maybe a good 7-8 hours out of it. And that's some people, I know some people said that they could get more than maybe 4 or 5 out of it. And that is even setting it with his powder. His powder is extremely light. So it's almost nothing to it. So it's not like a typical loose powder or a typical makeup type powder. But it's just supposed to look very pretty. It kind of like reminds me a little bit of a camera ready type product that looks beautiful in pictures. That's kind of like what this product kind of reminds me of. But it's just, to me, I love it. It works well for me. I've really been enjoying it. I'm so glad that I picked it up. So now we are down to the bottom 4. And this was very hard for me because it was very hard for me to try to figure out what really, really worked for me, and then, and how long it wore, and what I really enjoyed, and the makeups that I got the most compliments on. So it was hard. This was hard. Like everything else that I've gotten this year, foundations were my hardest because there are just so many, and all of these are just so beautiful. And it's just been really, really hard to try to pick those, or pick the number one, or find one that was kind of close to my number 1 or the highest rating that I give. So with that said, my number 1 in July was the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin. This is really beautiful because not only is it refillable, you can just get the refill, you can buy the refills. This is a full coverage. I mean, it is a major full coverage foundation. The only thing I don't like about this foundation is it's a little bit of like the cinnamon kind of smell to it, which I'm not super crazy about. But it is beautiful on the skin. And honey, let me tell you, it covers everything you got. And on top of the fact, it gives you this beautiful dewy look to the skin. It gives you, it's just a gorgeous foundation. It's gorgeous. It's waterproof. It's transfer proof. It stays on you all day. As long as you want to keep it on, it stays on, and you can just reset it with a little bit of powder and it'll just reset itself. It is absolutely really beautiful. And Danessa just really did a really good job with this one, and I have really, really enjoyed it. And I didn't even get the primer to go with it, but it is gorgeous. It's just an absolutely stunning foundation. So if you're looking for a good full coverage, waterproof, transfer resistant, all day wear, dewy type makeup, you will love this. I would not pick this up though if you're oily. Don't do it if you're oily, because I would definitely do her, it's the Balm No Powder. I think it's the one that's in the compact or whatever. My girlfriend, Glam Girl Chelsea, she loves it. She's got like all the shades and she loves it. She lives, breathes, and eats it because she just thinks it's amazing. Again, it's a little bit more for combination normal oily skin. It wasn't really for me, so that I never picked that up. But this one just worked really, really well for me. But I wouldn't recommend it for oily skin, because I just think it would, not that I think it's just super, super dewy, even on me. And I mean, I would think on an oily skin it would just be too dewy, and I just wouldn't think you would like it. I would definitely look at one of her other ones, or maybe look at one of these other ones on the list if you're a little bit more oilier. But it is a really beautiful product. If you're normal to dry or dry skin, I think it would work great for you, and it does work really beautifully on mature skin as well. Number 2 spot is Tide. So I couldn't pick out the number 2 spot because both of them are so gorgeous. And I have 2 shades in each one of them. And one of them is the Tawny Doll Glow Foundation, Care & Glow Foundation by Lancome. And then the other one is the Haas Labs by Lady Gaga. And this one is the Triclone Skincare Tech Foundation. Absolutely love this foundation. Love this foundation. Okay, so the difference between the two of them is this one is fragrance free. I think it has all the boxes checked pretty much. It's like fragrance free, preservative free, yada yada yada, what have you. This one has a sunscreen. This one does not. This one is 24-hour wear claim. This one doesn't really say that it's like a 24-hour, but this one leaves a more of a. It starts off kind of like a dewy, and then it dries down, and it leaves a natural finish. And then as the day goes on, your glow comes through. But it's a beautiful, impeccable foundation. It makes your skin look insane. She knocked this out of the park. It is absolutely gorgeous. The packaging is gorgeous. As you can see, it's very reminiscent of the La Mer. It looks a lot like the La Mer foundation, the one that I showed you earlier. It looks a lot. It feels just like it. It's very weighted. It's about $45, I think. She's got about, I don't know, about a good 40-50 shades in it. It is a really beautiful foundation. So if you have normal to dry, normal combination skin, I would definitely give it a check out. It does leave a little bit more of a glow. So as the day goes on, to just keep that in mind, but it is worth checking out or getting a sample of. And therefore I have it in 2 shades. One's a little bit lighter and one's a little bit darker for summer. And then with that said, going back to the Lancome. So the Lancome is claimed to be a 24-hour. It's a Tawny Doll, part of the Tawny Doll family. And I do work for Lancome, so I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to toot their horn or what have you, because these are, and the other company is another company that I work for as well that I'm getting ready to mention. But this, just because I work for them, it doesn't mean that they would be up here on the top if I didn't feel like this foundation was worth it. But every time I put this makeup on, I get the most compliments, and I sell it. Because people just love, they're like, what is that you have on your skin? Your skin is so beautiful today. What is it? This is just a beautiful foundation. Now, again, I have to manipulate it a little bit, because even though it says Care & Glow, it goes on, but it still dries down, and it has like a little bit of a natural finish. You get a little bit of a glow later, but at the beginning, it's not a completely super glowy foundation, but it is oil-free, and it does stay on all day. It does have a 27 in it, and it does have a little bit of a fragrance to it. So you have to keep that in mind, but it is beautiful medium coverage. The colors they're somewhat pretty good. They need a little bit better colors. They need some more colors in it. But it is just a beautiful foundation. It's creamy. You don't need a lot of it. A little bit goes a long way. But man, does it stay. It stays on so good all day long. And it does make your skin look really super beautiful. And everybody that I put it on, it also looks really good on them as well. So this is definitely worth a check out too, especially if you want the long wear. Not that the Haas Labs doesn't do that, because it does stay stay on really good too, and it doesn't, you know, it doesn't really move all day. It stays on nicely, even though they don't really make that super big long wear claim. It does a good job too. But they were just such a tie because they're kind of similar. The only thing is the Tarte Adult is a little bit less glowy. The Haas Slabs is a little bit more glowier. So just keep that in mind. I just feel like if you're a little bit more drier, you might like the Haas Slabs a little bit more. If you're a little bit more on the normal oily combination side, you might like the Tarte Adult a little bit more if you want a little bit of glow in your foundation instead of being it so matte. Okay, we're down to the last one, and this one is my number one, and I'm putting all three of these in number one because I use all three of them together, and it gives me the perfect combination that I love. So it gives me the flawlessness, it gives me the wear, it gives me, every single time I wear it, I get the more compliments than any of these. And I mean, I do get compliments on a lot of these, but this one I really get compliments on. I've wore this many times since I've been using it. At the beginning of the year, I have worn these products continuously, even in the summer, during the fall, over and over again. And every time I do, I get so many compliments on my skin and what it is and what it has, and it's this combination. And you don't have to buy all of these together to get this combination. This is just what I do because, first of all, I have testers of the product, and then I have one actual size, but also because I just can, and that's just what I do, and this is what I prefer. So with that said, it is all Dior, and again, I work for the company. And so I don't want people to think that just because I work for Dior that I would make it my number one, because I wouldn't. But for some reason, this combination has really worked for me. So in the beginning of the year, Dior relaunched the Forever Matte Foundation, and they also relaunched Capture Total. So both of these were reformulated, and I absolutely fell in love with both of them. I tried the Skin Glow, and I wasn't really crazy about the Skin Glow. It reminds me a little bit of the Tarte Adult, but the Tarte Adult Karen Glow is better than the Skin Glow as far as I'm concerned. But now the matte and the Dior Forever, oh my God, if you got normal combination skin and you want, or oily skin, and you want something that's going to be beautiful and make your pores look gorgeous, medium coverage, but it doesn't look flat and it doesn't look heavy and it doesn't look cakey, this is a gorgeous one. If you are looking for a Capture Total, if you're looking for a plumping, lifting, firming, tightening, age spot correction, beautification of the skin, this is it, honey. Like if you've got normal to dry skin, normal skin, you will love this product because it's got a beautiful coverage, beautiful results with or without it. It really plumps up your skin. It looks really awesome. The color choices are just a little tougher in this one. The color choices in this one are a little bit more. Sorry, I've got testers, so they're not the actual product. But just when you mix these two bad boys together, you get the perfect, flawless satin finish foundation that you've ever seen. It is absolutely stunning on the skin. I usually mix one shade darker and then one shade lighter. So this is 3N, this is 3C, and this is 4N. And I mix them together, and I get the perfect combination of what I love. Now, to add to that, so Dior came out with, later in July or August, they came out with the Dior, with the Natural Velvet Compact. Now before, with the Forever Compact, I did not like it. It was very matte, it was very flat, the colors were terrible, I just didn't like them at all. This bad boy came in, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It goes into the skin, but it's not completely flat. It actually has like a little bit of a luminosity to it underneath. It is stunning. So what I do after you do these two foundations is I just kind of set it lightly with this one over top of it, and spray it. Oh my God, it's gorgeous, and it stays on all day because you have like Forever products in all of it. You have the powder, and then you have the Forever in this one, and then the Capture lasts a good 8-12 hours by itself. So when you mix it with the Forevers and you add to it, it stays on beautifully all day long. Sweat resistant, water resistant, I mean, I wouldn't say waterproof, but I mean, but it stays on great because I wore this a lot during the summer and got so many compliments out of it. And it stays on really beautifully. So guys, this is Dior won the top notch with foundation this year, which I was really shocked because I really thought that it was going to be one of the other ones. There for a minute, I thought it was going to be Haas Labs, but I really had to think about it. And I was like, what have I wore the most this year? And this has been this is what I've used the most out of any of the foundations that I've used this year. This is the one I go back to over and over again, and these are the ones that I use and the ones that I love and the ones that I reach for continuously. Even now, even with some of these other ones, I still reach for this combination the most because I just know that it's going to perform for me and it's going to work for me. And that's what made my decision on my foundations this year. Instead of just by popularity or just by anything, you know, by hearing other people talk about other stuff or whatever, this is what's worked for me. Now, can I say this is going to work for you? No, it may not work for you. And not only that, you may not want to do, you know, 2 foundations and mix them together and then use the powder over top of it. But I will tell you, when I do this on customers, even if I just use one of these and I use this and I set this over top of it, makes it look beautiful. So if you guys have never tried out this velvet powder, you've got to check it out. I'm telling you, even if you're dry, but you do it with just a brush, just a swirl of it over the skin, it just makes it look so beautiful. It gives this really beautiful look to it. Just to make sure you've got a dewy foundation underneath it if you're dry, not a matte foundation, and put another matte over it. And you make sure you spray it, so that way it melts into your skin. But it does a beautiful job, and it's really beautiful. And I'm very, very impressed with that. And that was a shock for me because I wasn't expecting that one to be great. But guys, that's it. So we made it through the foundation. This was the one that I was hesitating the most on doing out of all of the ones so far. I mean, we've got a couple more videos coming up with, you know, some favorites of the, you know, the year and what we've really enjoyed. And I might be able to even squeeze the rest of them in another video because I actually ended up loving a lot of my older stuff last year. After I did my 2021, I was like, oh my God, there's a lot of them that I really use that I really enjoy. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. That'll be coming up soon. And with that said, guys, we are done. So, you know, be safe, be strong, be proud, stand tall, love yourself. Remember to tell somebody that you love them today because life is way too short. And also remember to be kind to someone because kindness can go off a long way. And then also remember to be happy. Just be happy. Have some joy in your life. You know, show some laughter. Have a good time. You know, that really can go a long way as well. And, you know, and if you don't see, I've got another video coming out with this one, but if you don't see, you know, it or you don't have the time to watch it, you know, please take care of yourself. Be safe. Have a wonderful and wonderful, safe holiday season. And we will see you again after Christmas with our rest of our New Year's plans or what videos we have planned. So anyway, take care of yourself and we will see you again in the next episode. Bye.